Gettel Hyundai of Lakewood presents the 2024 Hyundai Kona Limited in the yellow over black interior. This has gone through a refresh, and a lot of the Hyundai line is going that direction, so it's going to look a little bit more futuristic, a little bit more bold. Standard wheel is a 17-inch. Going up to the SEO will be a 18-inch. The inline gets a unique 19-inch, and these are also 19-inch 5-spoke alloy wheels. The fenders flare out, and it integrates into the headlamp assembly, projected combination LED headlights. And the daytime runnings are LED that spin across the whole hood, and they do that for the limited trim. All the other trims, it will not integrate over the whole thing. There'll be a little bit of a difference. So you can tell the limited trim by looking at it in the front fascia. With front parking sensors, a 360-degree reverse camera that can only be optioned on the limited trim, and you have the H style for the front fascia as well. So even though they don't integrate that for the lighting, they still optimize it for the front, so it keeps the characteristics of the brand with a flat Hyundai badging, and the power is going to be better when you go to the inline and the limited trim. You're not going to get the 2.0 liter, so you're increasing 43 horsepower and 63 pound-feet of torque out of the 1.6 liter 4-cylinder turbocharged, producing 190 horsepower and 195 pound-feet of torque paired to an 8-speed automatic transmission. Decent MPGs at 24 for the city, 29 for the highway. This is the all-wheel drive. You can option it as a front-wheel drive also, with a front strut suspension with coil springs, and the rear gets a torsion beam. But when you tick the box for the all-wheel drive like we have, you get a multi-link. So it's not only gonna pack that sporty look, but it's also gonna have a bit of a sporty ride, and surprisingly, this has more towing capabilities than the new refreshed Santa Fe. It goes up to 5,000 pounds. Look how small this vehicle is, opposed to the Santa Fe that increased nearly 2 inches. Standard LED taillights that wrap around the whole rear, and the center light bar is LED as well. The lower is going to get the satin aluminum. The inline will be the only trim that gets dual exhaust outlets, which keeps a little bit more sporty, as well as the lower roof spoiler. It will be the most athletic. Power liftgate going into 25.5 cubic feet. It does sit a little low. It doesn't necessarily have too much of a lip, so it's easy access. LED interior lights with bag holders. Underneath the floor gets a spare tire, and you can also lower this about 3 inches so you can get more top to bottom. To move the privacy cover, pretty simple. Couple of clips, pop it out. To increase to 63.7, I'm kind of tall, so I can do it in the back. It folds down flat, otherwise you'll have to go to the back doors. And it is a wide opening similar to a hatchback. Ten-way power seat adjustment, H-Tech seats, heated, ventilated. You get the pattern. When you go into the inline, that unlocks power seat adjustment, and it will have an Alcantara and a more sporty bolstering. The SEO with convenience can add the power seat and the heated front seats. Headroom and leg room. The SEO with convenience will add pretty much every feature that you're getting with the Limited. So this is a sweet spot when you tack that on, but the Limited gives it to you standard. So the 8 speakers through Bose. Auto-dimming rear view mirror is only on the Limited trim with the home link. Moonroof. We get a storage in between the dash. The curved one panel with 2 screens. 12.3 with navigation. The SEO with convenience can add that. Apple CarPlay, Android Auto. It is wired. Sirius XM, AM, FM, streaming Bluetooth audio. Throw it into reverse. The Limited is the only trim that can get the 360-degree reverse camera trajectory for the front and the rear, and you get the 3D view, which you can go all around the vehicle. And you can also change different angles of the camera. Dual climate control settings. Wireless charging pad comes on the SEO with convenience. Push this, and you get a 12-volt with 2 USB ports. All the switches for your ventilated, heated seats, and heated steering wheel in the driver mode on the 12.3 digital reader that has normal, sport, snow. You can also go through an array of information for the driver, including turn-by-turn navigation. And if you use your indicators, you can see the cameras in the gauge cluster. heated steering wheel, multi-function, with the paddle shifts, the stocks, and the gear lever is now on the steering column. And the air vents will have the satin aluminum that brush through it. I like this 2-level that they've done because they really have carved out maximum cargo capacity for the front, especially here in the center. Here's the key fob without cup holders and with them. This also opens up even more here, and you have a little storage tray here. You could take it out, and then you'll have a taller storage pocket right into there. The door panel and the dashboard configuring together, and it just brushes in, giving a more sporty feel. One touch up and down for the front windows. It's going to be more firm materials everywhere with a long storage pocket and a beverage holder carved out. Headroom and leg room. You have quite a bit for a smaller vehicle. A storage den behind the passenger seat, USB ports. You can add that with the convenience package on the SEL. Air vents is standard, cup holders with an armrest, and the door is going to have the same segment that's found in the front. So pretty much everyday materials, easier to clean, one cup or bottle holder. Sliding to the center, the floor isn't flat, the rails are pushed up enough. So you will share a touch of feet space, knee, leg, butt, shoulder space. It's actually not a problem. But sitting this way, kind of has a harder bolster in the center, headroom's a little, and you can also recline these seats back a little bit more so. 190 horsepower with 195 pound-feet of torque out of the 1.6 liter turbocharged 4-cylinder. That's a lot to swallow because if you're thinking Honda and Toyota, they're not going to have as much power as this. Now, when you go into the inline and the limited trim, it not only gives you the more power variant, but it also changes that suspension like we were saying on the exterior, which gives you a multi-link. So now it's a little bit more sporty as well. And considering all the capabilities you could do with this vehicle with towing, cargo capacity, and storage nooks either in the door pocket or even in the center, it just kind of surpasses most of its competition. It's more cleaned up, it feels more airy, it still feels small, but yet it has a lot of room inside. It's going to be a little bit more noisy than the SE because of the wheel, and when you go into the multi-link, it can be a little bit more noise filtering in than a Torsen Beam also. The windows are large and you're getting advanced safety. So you'll have the front and rear parking sensors, rear cross traffic alert, blind spot monitoring, lane keep assist, adaptive cruise control. There's a lot of value that you're getting. And if you want it to be more sporty, you go to the inline, but then you will lose things like the 360-degree reverse camera, the full integrated light bar for the front. The Kona also has where when you use your indicators, it turns on in the 12.3 digital gauge cluster so you can see the cameras there on top of the blind spot monitoring. So safety is above and beyond. Considering how small this vehicle is, you're taken care of with that, plus all the capabilities for your day in and day out use. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to stop by Gettel Hyundai of Lakewood to check out their new and pre-owned selection.